Okay, guys, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon whenever you're watching this. I hope you have a good understanding of everything that's going on. Just a reminder, whenever you are submitting assignments, you must press turn in. Okay, if you don't press turn in, then I have no idea who's turned in what. So whenever you're doing your assignments, you have got, under all circumstances, you have to press turn in in Google Classroom. Okay, this is an absolute must. So just please be aware of that, and please be ready. Please do so for each assignment. So the title of this lesson is called Great Expectations, and I'm going to start it out with a quote by Charles Dickens in the book he wrote called A Tale of Two Cities. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom, it was the age of foolishness. It was the epic of belief. It was the epic of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going to direct to heaven. We were all going to direct the other way. In short, the period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on it being received, for good or for evil, in the superlative degree of comparison only. Again, this was a quote by Charles Dickens in Great Expectation, or A Tale of Two Cities. But today's lesson is about Great Expectations. That's the title of a book that he wrote. So, just a reminder again, you must press turn in on all your assignments and submit your assignments into Google Classroom. This is what we've done so far in class. First off, assignment 1, we've looked up the time periods of your assignments. That's what you should have done first. The second thing is you should have been able to identify what type of artifacts would be in that era. Okay? And I want to say one more thing. Whenever you're turning in assignments, it should be like this. Example, hashtag World War II, lesson 3, assignment 3. Okay, that's what it should be, all right? In Google Classroom, I'm going to show you exactly where it is. What you're going to do is you're going to go to Google Docs. Okay, I'm pulling up Google Docs right now. Okay, go into blank. Taking a second to load. Alright, so what you're going to see is you're going to see something up here said Untitled Document. Hashtag World War II Assignment 3. That's what you do, and that's all that you do. And if you want to put your name at the end as well, F. Burton. Alright, and the reason why that is, guys, is it helps me find your assignments at a quicker pace. So if we have any discrepancies on your assignments themselves, it just makes things so much easier. I can just pull it up and we're ready to roll. Okay, so tonight's assignment, again, we're going back to what we were discussing. Okay, we're going to be talking about life and two things. Okay, so the two things we're going to be talking about tonight are life expectancy and the literacy rate. So what you're going to do is you're going to be looking up what the literacy rate was during your eras. Okay, so you're going to look at what percentage of people were literate. Okay, again, going back to the Gutenberg, it was 1440 to 1450. How many people? What was the percentage of people in the world that were literate? And if you're comparing it now to the, so some people decided to do the computer. What percentage of the people were literate whenever the computer was invented? And then give me reasons why. Give me 3 reasons why you feel that it changed. Okay, the literacy. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to be looking at pretty much the same thing for life expectancy. You're going to look at what was the average age of people during this time. and then compare it to your other area. And you're going to give me 3 reasons why you think that changed. Alright, so before we begin, I just want you to write down on paper what do you think the purpose of this assignment is. Okay? So you're a bell ringer, I guess, if you want to call it that. What's the purpose of this assignment? Alright, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not just a waste of time, but I just want to hear your opinions on it, and kind of go from there. Okay, so what's the purpose of this assignment? Okay. And then you're going to provide feedback from there. You're going to provide feedback from there, and then we're going to roll. So, guys, it's important for, one of the reasons why it's important is, well, it's not really, this is Mr. Burton's opinion, but you got to think about, the life expectancy. Why was there such a strong urge to possibly be married at a young age, or to have as many children as you can? What was the purpose behind that? It just wasn't just a reproduce and have babies. Okay, there was a means behind it. Okay, and then also you got to think about why is the literacy why was the literacy so important? What type of influences impacted during this time. So again, you're going to be looking at, and you're going to be exploring different options. You're giving me 3 reasons why the literacy rate changed. Hopefully it's changed. And then the life expectancy, what were 3 reasons why you believe that changed, okay? So this one actually is a fairly decent portion to an assignment. It's worth 25 points, okay? The expectations are this. Cite your sources. That is the most important. You just can't come up with a statement and say something along the lines of people survived because we became smarter. Okay, well, that might be a reason, but you have to give me where you're getting this information. Where is the data that is showing this? Okay, what evidence do we have? This is a conversation that I have with a lot of my wife and other colleagues. The question, I think this is a fairly deep question. Have we gotten smarter as we've advanced, or are we still quote unquote the same? And I feel like that's a pretty legitimate question, and that's something that my wife and I debate about. And I'm not going to tell you what side I'm on the spectrum, and other teachers, but are we smarter, or are we still just the same old Joe? So this actual assignment, since it's going to be fairly lengthy, I'm looking for, to be honest with you here, you're probably looking at anywhere between 2 to 3 pages, okay? And you're going to need an introduction, you're going to need bodies, paragraphs. This is where you support your evidence. And then you need a conclusion. Okay, so those are the 3 things I'm looking for. Whenever you're writing this has to be, again, you have to be pulling evidence from this to support your claims. And something that I would highly encourage you to do before you begin this is actually do kind of like a pre-write. So I'm sure you're doing this in your other classes. So this is how I would recommend doing this. Okay, you don't have to do it this way, but it is highly encouraged. So in the middle is in some classes they call it the thesis, or the main point. Okay, so in your main point, again, we talked about life expectancy. So the point of this would be life expectancy. All right, and then you would have reason number 1. Well, if it'll let me do it. Because 1's floating around everywhere. I don't like that. Okay, so we have 1. Okay, and then you would have reason number 2, and then you'd have reason number 3. Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next page to make it easier for everybody here. Alright, and then below those reasons, you would have things to support your claim. So you'd have A, for some reason, oh, because I had it caps locked, I'm sorry. A, and then A. Then you'd have B, 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 and C, C, C. So this is reason number 1. Okay. This is reason number 2. And then this is reason number 3. Alright, and then this would be the evidence that would support your information. Okay, and that's the way it would be for every single one of them. Okay, and this will help you out. This is where you would have your evidence. This is where you would cite your sources. Cited sources. Okay, so I feel like this is fairly easy for you to do today. I would encourage you to just kind of do research, look up the information, and then tomorrow in class I would type your paper. Ideally, probably, if you're really good and you're really concise and precise, you can probably get it done in about 2.5 pages. But realistically, you're probably looking more along the lines of 3 to 4. Times New 12 font, Times New Roman, and it must be double spaced. Okay? So if you guys have any questions about anything, please don't hesitate to raise your hand. Please don't blurt it out. Again, here's kind of the format that I would encourage you to do, kind of do like a pre-write type deal. And then, that's where you have your cited sources, and then this is the stuff that you have along with it. Okay? So, again, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Thanks.